I'm with,
Sharon.
and we're gonna be discussing and just having conversation about gender. So, you'll just list at least one way, or just talk about one way that you perform your gender and how it is that you came to perform it in that certain way. So, gender and sex are not the same thing. Just so you're aware. So, gender is the socially constructed norms, behaviors, and rules that varies between societies over time. And so, there's gender identity, which is how you feel on the inside, and there's gender expressions, which is how you present yourself to others. Um, so that's just something to keep in mind when talking about your gender. There's also like gender role socialization, so how we learn to behave as a man or as a woman. And there's traditional gender roles, which like the man leaves and makes money, the women stay home. Those are other things you can discuss. Let's see. Conformity is the extent to which a man or a woman conforms to stereotypical behaviors and interests. So there's also performing gender. So like examples are like how you sit in a chair, how you exercise, just things like that. So there's just ideas that you can like discuss when discussing your gender. So,
Well, after hearing that information, it makes it a little easier to talk about because I guess for me it's harder to separate gender from sex. But if I had to speak just specifically to gender and how I came to, one example of how I perform to my gender would have to do with like like being ladylike. So when you think about when a person sits somewhere, whether it's in public or at home or whatever, the ladylike way to sit is conservative. You either sit with your legs together, or you cross your legs, or you cross your ankles. You're very conservative in the way you present yourself, where it's kind of different for a male gender, where they're a little more open and not as conservative that way. So I think that's one way I perform my gender role as a female, and that's just something I was raised from the time I was small. That's the way my mother and my grandmothers, that's the way they taught me is, you need to act like a young lady. And the right way to do that when you sit down, with your dress at Sunday school, is you cross your knees or you cross your ankles and things like that. So I guess that's how I would relate.
okay, thank you.